Good evening, everyone. Welcome to episode 4 of the IHSEA Podcast. Here we talk about whatever's going on in the state and whatever's going on with esports and whatever we feel like most of the time. Right, Keith?
Yeah. You don't want me to talk about what I'm feeling. Want to talk about right now. It'd go on for hours.
Is it Valorant?
Yes.
Oh, God. So tonight we're just chatting up the season. We took last week off because we had a coaches meeting this day. It kind of just worked out perfectly to get everyone together for our last coaches meeting before our season kicks off. We're very excited for this year to start. Again, not to skip over, but Keith Kennedy here from Glenwood High School down in Chatham, Illinois. Thank you again, Keith, for being here. For those who don't know him.
I'm always glad to be here.
What's going on in our chat? What are we talking about, Sith?
Stuff.
I totally looked away for a minute, and now it's full. Awesome.
We're currently discussing. I'm getting flamed for wearing a C9 hoodie. Even though it's ridiculously comfortable.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a League fan. And I'm not going to say NA is going to win Worlds because that'd be a lie. But I can hope for a lot of things.
Yeah, I just want them to make it out of groups. That's all I care. At least one team make it out of groups. I'll be happy.
I hope for a lot of things.
I really hope FlyQuest shows up though. That I want a brand new team to start.
No. Solo is going to get destroyed at Worlds.
No,
he's going to get absolutely destroyed.
Okay. Legion, you're not helping. Yeah, I just want to, I do want NA to do. They start when? They start tomorrow. Is it tomorrow night? Friday morning, right?
Friday morning.
Friday morning, 3 a.m. Is that what it is for us, right?
God, why is Worlds in China again? I want to be able to watch matches live.
Just be like me and wake up at 4 o'clock. I'm only gonna miss the first match.
Okay, you have a problem that I'm gonna not talk about.
But I get to watch all of Worlds while I'm doing my lesson plans in the morning.
Who lesson plans at 4 a.m.?
This guy.
Who actually writes lesson plans? Actually, that's a better question.
I just have to figure out what I'm doing that day or the next day.
You're not planning that far ahead?
I have a rough calendar.
Okay, I'm gonna leave this conversation for later. The math teacher in me is not happy.
With the way that we work in our department and with the way we work with our thing, sometimes we're like, oh yeah, this will take a day. And a whole new set of kids just takes 3 days to do this assignment. And we're in no rush to get through curriculum like some other subjects. So the nice thing about my subject area is most of our units are optional. There's 8 units to our actual class, but we only have to do 4. And
don't you discuss this to me.
And they don't even stress that you do 4. If you just don't make it because of stuff happens, they're not even worried about it.
Yeah, meanwhile in Mathland.
Yeah, Mathland, where every minute of every day is scheduled.
I have 100-something standards covering a year, and if I don't cover them, well, they're going to fail the final.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate.
There's a reason I am stressed. But we should probably stop talking about that.
For what? I mean, this is our podcast. We can talk about what we want, Keith. Mr. Syed, do me a favor. Capitalize some of the letters. I keep thinking you're Mrs. Say something or Mrs. Adu or something. Every time I see your name, it confuses me all the time.
Hey, you messaged me on Twitter too.
Is that what it is on Twitter too?
Yeah, similar.
I just need a capital, just like a Mr. That way I can see that it's not Mrs. Because the S right after the R makes it crazy. Anyways, we're just talking season. I was pulling up numbers from NASEF to find out where we're at right now. Right now we are currently the second biggest affiliate on NASEF.
We're behind Texas?
No, Pennsylvania.
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, they have actually a really good Scholastic esports program. Chris Avilas, I believe, is behind the program in Pennsylvania, and he's actually full on Scholastic esports, working on curriculum and all kinds of awesome stuff on that front. I think he does competition stuff, but he's definitely way more focused on the Scholastic and educational side of it.
Oh, it's awesome for him, yeah.
So I'm happy that we are second. Like we are the second by far. I think the next one's like 20 or 30 or something. So we are way up there, which is nice. And our Rocket League numbers are great. We're already at 19 teams for Rocket League, which is fantastic.
I'd be lying if I would say that I'm not like nervous about how many teams we're going to get for Valorant. Not that we're not going to have enough, but that we're going to have too many.
Yeah, that it's going to be scary. That first
That
call, and you're like, oh crap, I got to figure out 32 teams.
I know I'm anticipating like 30 schools with 2 teams each.
Oh my god.
If that happens, I may need like an extra 4 people.
Yeah, you may need some more extra help. Which, if it's that popular, you're probably able to find some.
Yeah, find someone, right? I can always volunteer some of my friends.
What did we have for numbers for last year for Rocket League?
Rocket League, we had somewhere around 20.
Was it 20?
We had some teams come in and out, but 20-ish.
Okay.
I know that we had JV was smaller ever so slightly, but I know we had 20-ish.
Okay. Yeah, that's good. So we're right around that same group, and I know there's still a lot of teams, and thankfully this deadline is extended until next week because there's a lot of teams that would miss out if they didn't extend it. And I'm literally, new schools are registering every day, be like, can we make it in for Rocket League? And I'm like, maybe, depending on how
that maybe
organized
is a
your
pretty
school is.
distinct maybe.
Yeah, I mean, now if basically if anyone starts registering after this weekend, they're probably not going to make it unless they have really good contact with their admin.
And their kids also get their stuff on NASEF like ridiculously fast.
Yeah, but I think that the admin is usually half the battle, is getting them to sign up and just hit that little button to clear it on NASEF, and then again,
my admin was really fast.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm lucky. Like I basically like, hey, I need this form filled out. And they're like, okay, done.
Yeah. Some of them are just like, yeah, I just haven't had time to look through my 300 emails because they're dealing with remote learning and everything. So
now it asks for your IT director and your direct supervisor, like your AD usually.
Yeah.
And that's lucky for me because my principal changed over the summer, so I don't have to redo it because it was my AD, not my principal.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, because you can either do AD or your principal.
And because I'm controlled by athletics, it's my AD instead.
Yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, no, so that we have great progress with that, and we've seen lots of clubs go quickly from pending to active, and that just means they're getting their things in. And our total student numbers right now is about 553, which is kind of ridiculous because I know there's a lot of people getting on board with it, but we'll see how many of these pendings actually turn over to actives before the season starts. And there probably should be more coming in too. If we have 19 Rocket League teams and 13 Overwatch, those are some pretty big numbers, plus substitutes and everything else. So we should have a decent stake in NASEF after this year, or after this fall season, which is awesome.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that we see some big enrollment because we get like amazing contact with the community whenever we do these sort of events, and it's been really cool to see how kids remember each other year over year and build consistent stuff year over year.
Yeah, and my biggest thing that I'm upset about is the cancellation of the LAN event for the fall. Like that's like the highlight of most kids' esports career at this point. So I'm really sad to see that we're not going to have one this year.
The Rocket League LAN was pretty like laid back last year.
Yeah.
So it was pretty small, but it's still like the kids all love it still, and we've hosted LANs at my lab since then that all have gone well. So yeah, the LAN's a huge experience.
Yeah. So it's upsetting that we're not gonna have it for fall, but hopefully, knock on wood, everyone does their job and wears their mask. They put it on. We can do one for Smash and Valorant for our finals because that would be really cool. So
don't you get me started. Don't you tempt me.
I'd love to do a LAN for the finals for that. We'll have to see how it would work, but
I wanted to talk about so much Valorant stuff, but I know I shouldn't.
This is not the Valorant cast. If you'd like to start your own spin-off of the IHSEA cast, that's the Valorant cast.
Don't you tempt me. Don't you tempt me.
Someone's saying about G2 and Worlds. Yeah, they pretty much got the easy group, depending on who else gets put with them. Yeah, Coach Syed, I think it's somewhere in the settings on your profile to change the capitalization of it.
And then you're talking about kids playing remotely or at school. my admin has said, since we're in an area where it's actually not that high a rate. Okay, compared to Chicago, smaller because there's mostly corn here. So I was told I can bring students to the building, I can use my lab, but I just don't want to deal with it. To be quite honest, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to have the possibility of, oh, I got to clean it, or oh, someone gets sick because I missed something. I don't want to deal with it. So I'm not bringing kids to the lab, which unfortunately cut my Overwatch numbers a bit because I had some console players in Overwatch. And I'm like, if the competitive season's on PC, you got to be on PC. I can't get around that. So that was just what it was. But for some teams like Fortnite, I wasn't going to bring them to the lab anyway. So worked out.
Yeah, I think it definitely is beneficial to have in the lab, but depending on where you're at and what status like your county's at, and where it might just not be worth it yet. Definitely, most of the kids that I know are playing remotely in Chicago just because it's just too much of a hassle, and they won't basically let us in the building for anything anyway. So I'm definitely losing a bunch of players for Overwatch because most of mine were console players, and they ended up buying copies last year so that they can compete in IHSEA because we would play from school. They don't have computers at home, but we would play from school, and they would do it that way. They just log into their account. I told them, for your parents for Christmas, have them buy you Overwatch for $20 or $15 or whatever it is. And they all came back from break with the game. So I was like, all right, that works. So
I've had a lot of my students who were esports last year who I got them interested in more esports beyond just their console games. So they bought PCs over the summer or getting them right now and getting into other games. And one's like, can I be in the Valorant team? I'm like, I'm gonna be honest, probably a long shot. So it's been interesting seeing kids try to push to improve on their own in the free time. And it's been cool to see a lot of kids practicing in the summer. Because some kids came back from the summer just so much more talented.
That's awesome. That's good to hear. And that's kind of what we want. Is we want them to go out and then come back and actually, have improved and not just, grinded and not done anything. Like one of my students didn't play much ranked because he was afraid of going down in demo. He was sick. He's silver, I think. Silver 3 or whatever. And then he ended up making a Smurf over summer, and he's playing with plats in his actually elo on that account just because he's so much better than when he first started. And I'm like, yeah, you could have been easily plat by now on your main, but you just didn't want to grind it. And he's realizing that, as we had this conversation the other day, League sucks no matter where you are and what you're playing. That's just League of Legends. And
yeah, League ranked makes me hate ranked modes in most games because League ranked is a waking nightmare.
Yeah. I am so glad that I made plat, and then I think I played 3 games and since then, and I'm just coasting until season ends. I don't really have time to play anyway, so I'm just kind of playing fun modes and whatnot for the quest for the events. But otherwise, I'm just nah, I'm good. I literally played so much League over summer and spring when we were remote. I'm yeah, I need to just take a break. Especially now Worlds is coming. I'll get my hype up right after Worlds is done.
And what's fun is voice chat, because there's voice chat in most other competitive games online, it's friendlier somehow.
And,
it's friendlier voice chat.
And I think if League would have introduced full voice chat before, I think it would have been a different game. Instead of doing you can only voice chat with people in your party because they were afraid of what the community was going to be. But I think it would have policed a lot more and people would have been a lot more friendly because they would have actually been using their voice.
I mean, I'm afraid of the community now, to be honest.
It's true. Someone was saying NASEF offers...
We are not playing Dota.
So NASEF offers Overwatch licenses. Yeah, they do. So if you're playing from school, they can actually give you... Overwatch license for your school to play. That's what we did. That's what my team did for the fall last year. They played Overwatch in fall for NASEF, and then they did Overwatch in the spring for IHSEA, which was really good because they were able to get a coach because I was not that good at coaching Overwatch, and they ended up only meeting with him once or twice because our schedules just didn't line up the right way. And then we keep having to close us. We had a fire drill or fire one day, so we had to The day we were
We
supposed
had
to
a
get coaching.
lockdown drill yesterday. So I had to tell my virtual class, like, hey guys, I have a lockdown drill. And I just sat in the corner with the lights off for 15 minutes
Nice.
with the
Did
kids
you leave the
still on the
camera
Zoom
on too?
call. Yeah, the kids are still on the Zoom call, and I'm just off camera in the corner.
Nice.
Lights off, like, well, this is awkward.
Yeah, if I do a lockdown, I'm just going under my desk. I'll see you guys later.
And I have a wireless headset, so I kept it on, like, in case they're, like, saying dumb things, but no one said anything.
Yeah.
Because high school kids refuse to interact.
Oh, I know. You guys are horrible. Like,
I
it's like pulling teeth.
The kids got to realize that we need body language to do anything effectively.
I just need a voice. Like when I ask a question, like normally I wait like a minute. Now it's like I'm waiting 5 minutes for an answer, and I'm like,
I need some affirmation,
hello?
like yes or no. Just
is
give me
anyone
something.
there? Is anyone there?
I had a kid stay after to get extra help, and then they just entirely fell asleep. I'm like, wow, that's nice.
No, don't mute yourself in Google. Just leave it mic open the whole time.
No, don't say that, please.
Oh, it's terrible. I use Bueller all the time, but the kids have no idea what that is.
Because the movie's older than they are.
When it gets really quiet and I wait, I make like the Jason sound, like. And then kids are like, "What? What's going on?" Because then they actually pay attention.
I've made it a rule now: if your pet pops up on camera, you must show them off.
Nice.
I saw someone today, like, just I saw a pair of ears sticking up below like the bottom of the camera. I'm like, I wonder if that's a pet. And it starts moving, like, oh, hey, it's a dog.
I literally see like one, maybe two camera out of my 150 students or 40 students.
I maybe get like, my class sizes are around 15 now because we're AM PM split, and I maybe get 5 to 6 a class, which is nice. It's better than you.
Trust me, that's 5 to 6 more times than I get. Like usually
5 to 6 a class, but I'm like, my God, I need something, you guys.
My kids turn it on accident, and then I say, "Oh, it's so nice that you have your camera on," and you see them like freaking out trying to turn it on.
Freak out, and they just turn it off immediately. I'm like, guys, come on.
My freshman students constantly tell me that I'm their favorite class, and they don't want to leave. Like I literally have to boot them out of the room.
Same. My school says they can't force students to have their camera on, so I'm just like, I can ask for it to be a nice thing.
Yeah. I ask for it, but no one still does it. But we can't hold them against it, so I'm like, okay. Like I always tell them, guys, please, can someone turn the camera on just so I can say hi? And some people do it before the other kids get in, or they'll do it right at the end. But
we're essentially just teaching to a wall.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
Yeah,
we should get back on topic, shouldn't we?
Yeah.
Was there a topic?
There was not really a topic. It was just kind of talking about numbers and seeing if anyone needed help with anything, getting set up this year. And main topic for next week, though, is Overwatch. So if you guys have any Overwatch players, we're going to go heavy into Overwatch. Terp in the chat is the tournament organizer for Overwatch. So he will be on the cast talking all the Overwatch you can ever.
One thing we saw pop up today in the Overwatch chat that I want to discuss on the Discord is there's no hard rank cutoff for varsity and JV. Varsity is just whatever your best team is. We suggest it be above a certain SR. I believe it's 2,500. Terp, yell at me if I'm wrong. And if it's below that, we suggest they're in JV, but it's up to you. And in the end, we've had JV teams that are higher than that. We've had varsity teams that are lower than that. And it's, especially with JV, high-ranked JV teams just happen because some schools are loaded. And in that case, JV is the developmental league in any case. Like, JV is here to develop players. So you're trying to just improve players in some respects.
Yeah, and the whole point of JV, like, there are kids that will not make varsity because they're just not good enough, but they might still be, diamond or plat level players. That doesn't mean that they're, they can't play JV. I mean, they still could improve to get on that main team. Like, we've had Naperville North the past 2 years where their JV team was essentially another varsity team, but those players that were on the JV squad didn't make the cut for the top squad, so there's a reason for that, and that's just kind of what happens at some point. Like there is a difference of level. We don't want to say that they can't improve and they can't play JV, and it might be a wash. And we try not to focus too much on JV. The playoffs happen for the most part, although we didn't have JV playoffs last year for either Overwatch or League, but
you kind of just lumped them in because we're taking who? No, we had JV playoffs for League. My guys played that.
Did we?
Yeah, my guys played that.
Okay. I feel like we didn't do playoffs for JV. Either way, we've been talking it down all year, just because JV is the developmental league. We might do some type of playoff group this year for League or something, but it probably won't be a full run for JV because it's just about playing more games and getting more games in with your team against other teams and not just playing, against random fives, because that's not really going to make you any better.
Did someone in chat just say they're a Bard one trick? You get out of here. Stop that.
Iron 1, that's not bad. They only have like 13 levels to climb. What am I looking for? I was looking for something. I'll look it up in a second. But yeah, no, so we definitely want to talk Overwatch next week, so make sure you let all of your players know. There was something in chat that I wanted to say. Oh, how many Overwatch teams in the state?
Yes.
I did just close it too, didn't I? No, it's over here.
We have 13 now. We had 20 plus last year.
For Overwatch? Do we have 20?
I know he was getting close to league numbers there for a sec.
I think it was like 16 or 15 and someone dropped afterwards, so somewhere around there, 15. Yeah, we have 13 for the varsity side and 5 for JV right now. Yeah, between varsity and JV did we have over 30? My mind this last year has just ruined me for my memory. Like starting that Overwatch and League tournament feels like 10 years ago.
Well, Rocket League feels like forever ago because it was.
Because it was.
It was a whole year ago.
It was like a full year ago. And then we might also have Egan on if he's available next week to talk some Rocket League before the season starts. And we'll see. I don't want to make it like a 2-hour podcast to tie everyone up. But we definitely want to get him on here to talk about Rocket League at some point. So if not next week, maybe the week after.
And say you're asking about like practice, because I'm more or less I'm the head coach and I run all the games. I'm making teams practice just once a week, so I actually have time to spectate all of it. Because I want to be there to make sure that I can see everyone and I can see my players. So I run practice just once a week per game. Although I run practice that I observe once a week. There's plenty of opportunity for players to run practices outside of when I observe and go get matches done and play together. I just don't do it. It's a them thing, not a me thing.
Yeah, no, we definitely I'd like to practice 3 days a week if space allows and if I have time to, depending on what I'm coaching. Usually I practice fully in school 1 day on computers. I'd like to do one other day of all just watching tape, and then possibly 1 day of them practicing at home.
Tape?
Yeah, like watching games.
Man, you're old.
I'm going to leave that one go. But yes.
Worth.
Watching tape of their game so they can kind of go over it. VOD review. Come on, sir. It's tape.
It's VOD
You're
review.
A football ref.
It's VOD review. Yeah, he's not a coach. He's a ref.
They still say going over the tape, and they don't use tapes anymore. They're on a disc, okay?
Hey, my dad still has a mini VHS recording camera.
When we say look back at the stream, yeah, I mean, I get you. But I focus it not just on VOD review. Like, I focus it more on making sure that it's something different for them, and that's probably why I still use tape, because they don't know what that means, and so it's something different.
It stands out in some way.
So, but yeah, no, I like to do 1 day of that, 1 day of one game of us practicing, and then possibly a day of scrims. I haven't been able to do that in like 3 years though, just because we haven't had space and I haven't had time. My first like 2 years, that's basically what I ran. I'd love to throw a fourth day on there as just literally like schoolwork day or club help day where they're doing something to help out the club. But again, not organized enough to do that at the moment. And yeah, our subs train, usually we rotate them in and out.
Yeah, same. I swap them in and out.
Yep, swap them in and out, especially during practice because they might not ever get a chance to play in game. I also will have them sometimes practice with the JV squad or fill in substitutes for them for practices if we have a JV squad for our team. But yeah, no, definitely you want to get them some practice time in with the team, especially if they're not like seniors. If they're seniors, then you're not really worrying too much about the future. They're more of like your replacement backup. And depending on what your team does, they might get to play. But definitely with any of my underclassmen, I try to rotate them in and possibly get them in for a game that I think we might win. Just so they can get the experience of being, on that stage, playing for the team and whatnot. So I also usually, the big thing, like the subs always want to come in and just play games while the varsity's practicing.
Yeah.
I usually try and just make them watch varsity and help coach them and figure out what they are doing differently than what the player themselves would be doing in that situation. So
and what I do is I like for Overwatch, because I had enough players last year. I actually had a dedicated JV practice day for Overwatch, and have whatever spare varsity players could come in. They'd come in and mentor the JV guys because Overwatch isn't really my game.
Yeah.
And so I'd have them come mentor my JV guys and provide comments, and I coached my Overwatch guys in how to give productive feedback instead of saying, "Hey, you suck."
Yeah.
Because they said that a lot too, but I had to tell them to keep that in their head.
Yeah. So I usually had a sheet that I would have them print out that talked about like different. They put timestamps on it and what happened and what the team could have done differently, and then we go over that quickly at the end of the game to kind of do it. So the subs would have something to go over with the players. It worked sparingly well. It depends on how you have them trained. And 1 year it worked flawlessly where the kids were there helping out and learning stuff, and then other ones were, just like, I'm not doing this, and it's like, okay, well,
And it's getting my players used to that sort of style. It's going to be interesting. Because with now my JV being kind of almost a brand new group for me, I got to say, hey, you guys got to use it.
Yeah, and we want
you got to use coaching.
Yeah, we definitely want them to keep practicing and getting better. So, flaming is not a way of life. That sounds like a league player there because it's not the way to go. Not if you want to be a productive environment.
Productive environment in league. Those words don't go together.
I mean, in esports in general.
So, like, league players don't produce productive environments.
Hey,
it's league.
Hey, you can. It takes someone to make the change. It takes someone to make the change, Keith. It's not going to be you. I see. Honor 5 here, like, since they started that every year.
Same. Thank you.
You just play with
I've
friends,
Honor 5 every year.
But no ranked games. That's the difference.
Yeah, because who likes playing ranked?
I'm just saying, you get Honor 5 ranked, then that means something. Because you have lots of
I play jungle in
to,
ranked.
to
I'm
go.
the one getting flamed.
Right. But they don't also honor you when they flame you.
Conditioning.
All right, well, we're going to start wrapping up here. We'll hang out for a little bit longer if you guys have any questions in chat. We didn't really have a topic. We just kind of wanted to talk about what was going on and not talk about Valorant the entire stream.
Hey. You offered to let me run a Valorant podcast. You can't take that back now.
I think it was Legion asked if students were ever allowed on the podcast. We haven't really had them on the podcast yet. And there's other issues with dealing with that. In order to put them on the podcast, we have to get like permission slips from parents and things like that. So we're not ready to do that yet. We definitely would want to do that in the near future.
We are going to try to grab college coaches, though.
Yeah, we're definitely going to grab a lot of college coaches. I'm going to start putting stuff out very soon about college coaches to be on, and possibly having one of them on every week if they want to be on there, talk about their program, especially the ones in Illinois. I think that's kind of the ones we want to highlight the most because those are where a lot of you guys are going to end up going anyway. And Legion, even though you're 18, if you're a student at a school, you're still technically a minor if you do anything with school. Mm-hmm. So technically by being on this podcast because you're on the esports team, technically You'd still need a permission slip.
We need Crazy Uncle Bob on the show? I have no idea who that is. That's Normal Community West High School. What's up?
Wait, what school is that? It's Normal Community West, right?
Yeah, Normal West.
Yeah.
That should be Ruckus.
Is he?
However you pronounce that name, I'm not going to try.
Why not? How many different ways can you pronounce that name? Never again.
There's extra letters in there I didn't pronounce. There's a lot of extra letters in there I didn't pronounce.
How high can you stack those boxes? Turb wants to know. Are we going to get up to the ceiling?
Behind me?
Yes.
I mean, Amazon boxes. I don't order a lot of things on Amazon now because I just got all my stuff in. But I mean, this box is kind of long. This box is kind of long. It's a poster box for a poster that I may have ruined while laminating it and then threw out.
Nice.
Because I got stuck on the laminator and I'm like, I just gave up and trashed it.
How much did you pay for the said poster?
Like $20.
Okay. That's not too bad, I guess. I just hung, I don't know if you can see, you can kind of see it in the back right above my head here. That's Lord of the Rings map. And then right here in front of me is the Game of Thrones map.
Nerd!
You're the math nerd. You are by far nerdier than I am.
I don't like being called out like this. I teach math and CS, and I want to do Valorant VOD reviews in my free time.
And you wear a C9 jersey.
It's just a comfortable hoodie at this point.
Thanks, Syed. I've had this chair for, I think, like 4 years now. It's one of the Sentinel series for DX Racer, so it's like extra big and comfy.
I got this right when quarantine started, like about a week prior, and it's been really nice to have because I had a kind of crappy office chair before then.
Yeah, I remember.
And it also the shock on it was going bad, so I'd slowly sink down over the course of the meeting.
I think my shock's going bad on this because occasionally if I lean back, I come back up and I'm like a little bit down. I'm like, no, please not.
I can't. My shock's bottomed out.
Did it?
Because this is a tall chair and I got a taller shock that's like higher weight running. I didn't check the heights very closely, and it at the exact lowest possible setting is perfect height for me. So I'm like, cool, it's just a post at this point.
Yeah, that's actually perfect. Someone asked about getting verified on the Discord. I went through like 30 something yesterday. I'm working my way through everyone. So if you put verify in that channel, I will verify you when I get to it. I wanted to do some tonight, but the kids were being annoying and didn't want to clean up. So I wasted 20 minutes helping them clean up rather than actually doing stuff for that. So
hooray!
I'll probably be doing some tomorrow during one of my meetings because it's probably going to be pretty boring. And I should have everything.
Don't you say that out loud.
What?
Don't you tell people are going to be doing other things during a meeting. Like, come on, man.
I mean, if I was there in front of them, I still would be doing the other things in front of them.
You don't have physical ID. If your school doesn't have any physical IDs, even previous IDs, you need to have your coach submit a list to us eventually.
Yeah, I'll send a message to you and then just let me know if you do not have an ID, like if you're a freshman or you transferred or something and don't have an ID for that school. And then I'll reach out to the coach, or you can reach out to the coach and have them email me some of the information for it. But I'll send you a message once I get to your name in that verified channel. A lot of kids don't have physical IDs. If they have last year's, we're accepting last year's as of right now. Obviously, as long as they weren't seniors last year, then I'll have to do some checking. But if you have last year's ID, just verify with that page and go from there. Or if you have online login that shows like your school name and your name on there, that would work too. Just make sure that you block out any important information that I shouldn't have. I don't need your address or your social security number, please. We delete them all, but I still don't want to see them. Some kids don't realize what they're giving away when they take a screenshot. Was there any other questions? I think that was it. Overwatch 2, someone was saying 2021?
We'll see with that one. We'll see. That's a bold prediction they're cutting.
Yeah.
That assumes that Blizzard is actually motivated to make good things and not just make money.
That assumes anyone's even actually going to play Overwatch 2 at that point. Like,
Overwatch 1's player base is dying.
Yeah.
Well, we should wrap it up, shouldn't we?
Wait, what was you saying? C channel chairs? What? Square channel chairs for gamers? What is that?
C channel.
Is that just like the racing chair type thing?
Oh, bucket seats.
Oh. Yeah, my Sentinel is actually extremely wide. So
this has barely. Oh, okay. What kind of?
That's what I was like.
Ruckus, you're weird. Yeah, I like Secret Labs because the bucket's really not like there's almost no side to it.
Yeah,
it's just flat. I love it.
Yep, and that's mine too. Like it has a little bevel on the very edge, but that's why I paid like an extra $200 for it. So it was worth it because I've been sitting in this chair, especially this year, entirely too much.
Mm-hmm. I sit in my crappy chair at work for 8 hours, and then RL Info, we're working on that actively.
Yeah, it should be either tomorrow or early next week at the very latest, depending on what we got to fix. We were just finalizing some stuff up with NASEF so that we can run stuff our own way rather than just running it straight the way they have it because we wanted to add an extra weekend, also have set schedules instead of playing Swiss. So we had a big meeting with them, and we were able to get a lot of that stuff we asked for. So it was really awesome to work with them and have them be, accept our criticism of what their format is compared to what we were trying to do with our group, because we noticed over the years we've done it that people don't like Swiss, the matches, trying to get scheduled even though they're set at a time, just trying to do some other fun stuff like set up streams and tell other people that are especially the rivalry matches I was trying to think of. The rivalry matches between different schools, we wanted to get those set up in stone so you can make a big hubbub about those other schools you're playing. So the fact that they're letting us, have the leeway with that, even though it's under their umbrella as NASEF and it's still our tournament, and, it helps us provide for what we have experienced in Illinois and what we wanted and what we've been pushing for is to make everyone better and, get feedback from everyone on how things went. So, I did not participate in any of the extra credit. I think, Kenny, are you doing the Valorant this weekend or no?
There's one this weekend?
Yeah, I think so. I just saw a post about it.
That one was last week. This next one is October, I thought.
Oh, was that old? Okay, maybe that was an old post I just managed to see for the first time.
Wait, don't you scare me like this.
I was going to say, they just had one. I didn't think they would do one back-to-back again. You're probably right.
Checking the dates. October 2nd.
Okay. Oh, that's coming up, though.
Remind me next week to register for that.
Okay.
Because I'm going to forget.
What kind of phone do you have? Can I just say, okay, Google, remind?
I turned that off.
Dang.
And I have a Note 8. I turned the Bixby button off entirely. It is now just a button that does nothing.
Nice.
Because I actually hit it and it pops up, what would you like? I'm like, I want you to go away.
Yeah, the extra credit tournaments, I don't know how hard mode kids are for it. Definitely it's really fun, some of the fun game modes, and I think they've done some coaches extra credits before, which is nice because sometimes I don't know if everyone they allow coaches to get into or just some of them. But those are kind of fun too to think about. Like when we just did the whole League of Legends Wednesday all coaches game, that was really a fun night to get everyone together.
That was fun.
So,
well.
No, Legion, you can get extra credit if you can Whitlock to be on this podcast. I will give you extra credit.
Oh, yeah. If you can get Whitlock to be on here, we will do what we can. You guys, getting Whitlock on here is going to be astoundingly hard. Full Coaches Among Us event. You will then learn that I am a terrible liar. An absolutely awful, terrible liar.
We definitely need to do that. Once the season starts, Terp, I'm definitely for having some Coaches Among Us events. Because right now everyone's just swamped getting stuff in and getting stuff ready. But I'm probably going to buy the game maybe this weekend. I didn't realize until earlier this week that it's only $5. And I'm like, why is this game only $5? But then I also found out that it came out 2 years ago. So... And hopefully you guys will find out that I'm a great liar. So.
I'm like an awful liar, and I can't argue my point at all. Like I'm there to exist. If I get caught, I get caught. It's just that's it.
He's like, I'm just doing my tasks. That's all. Just not saying
just
anything.
Leave me alone. I want to swipe the card, and then just getting murked every time.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, guys, for joining us tonight. Thanks for the good feedback. Thanks for talking and being active in chat. Let everyone know to join us. We try to have fun time here. Try to give you guys some information. We have really good talk, especially when we have some of our guests on.
Wait, Legion, Whitlock responded to a DM of yours? What? Whitlock responds to the messages? Oh, of course you're... Oh, nerd.
Oh, you're in her French class too? Oh, I feel sorry for you.
Yeah, I do too. Jeez. We love you, Whitlock. Don't yell at me.
Don't tell her I said that.
Whitlock, don't kill me, please.
I'll get an HR request.
Wouldn't the HR request go up to you as well?
Technically, it would.
It would elevate to you.
Well, no, go to HR. HR can work outside of the people on top.
HR is Whitlock, though.
Right.
And then you take it to the guy in charge for discipline.
No, not necessarily. HR usually can handle stuff out. At least in the jobs that I've worked at. Bonjour, Legion.
Oh, that's nice.
All right, so thanks for hanging out, guys. We will see you next week, 8:15. Make sure to come on here. Get everyone on here for Overwatch. Terp's going to be on here. We'll put some messages in the Discord when he posts all the information. We're definitely excited about getting the season started. I can't believe it's already here. It's been way too quick. I'm not used to starting school and getting a season going at the same time. It's not fun. It's not fun, especially in COVID. So,
oh, yeah.
All right, guys, stay safe. Wear a mask. We will see you next week.
See ya.